it is pretty ridiculous that Republicans chose this of all moments for these constitutional amendment questions, because they word them in a very confusing way.
Yes.
These do often pass. I think that more often than not, these referendum questions pass. I think the only time it didn't in recent years was when Sarah Godlewski ran kind of a one-woman campaign to keep the state treasurer's office and then be elected as state treasurer. And so I think that was really the only time where a question like this failed. And so I know Tony Evers has been out there, Ben Wickler has been out there, a number of people talking about these amendments and how they would complicate the governing process in the state of Wisconsin, especially in a moment where there's an emergency. And we know our state legislature is, even if there's an emergency, that doesn't mean they're going to take action on anything for an extended period of time. So I had some people telling me that they thought these amendments should be characterized as pro-gridlock. So if you like gridlock in government,
I like
vote
that.
yes. If you want the elected governor to be able to govern in an emergency, maybe vote no on this one. And we don't need to be changing the state constitution.
Seriously.
And that's one of the things the Wisconsin GOP has been tweeting out. Their whole phrase has been, do you want the governor to continue to have a slush fund? Like, we had COVID money that you guys didn't want to do anything with. Thank God the governor had control of that money. And there's still money we talk about it all the time. And I hate saying the term, but it's PFAS. We want clean drinking water. And they're sitting on $125 million approved, voted on, waiting to put it out. And they're like, nah. And so this would only make, and Dan, that's a great way of putting it. If you want the gridlock to continue,
yes,
and you want money that's coming to us that we have earned and been given, vote no.
Well, and the other thing I think, too, is that now that we finally have fairer maps and things may not go entirely in the Republicans' favor, that's when they do things like this. Okay, fine, you don't like us, you don't like our policies, too bad, we're just going to go around it. We're going to find a way to go around it and do something like this via the state constitution to take more power away from the governor's office and give it to ourselves. And so, I think pro-gridlock is a great way to look at that, Dan. And I just think, too, why do we want to give Robin Vos more of our money to sit on? I have this vision of him in my head, the popcorn king, just sitting on a big pile of cash, laughing. Because, I mean, that's what they do.
He tried to slam Tony Evers yesterday at the state fair about all these different things about, like, we've got record high unemployment and the inflation's out of control. And here's the governor at state fair with cream puffs. It's like, he's the governor. It's state fair. Yeah, of course he'd be there. But also then someone, I can't remember who was, tweeted a story about how they are the least effective legislature, I think, in the country. They are currently on month 4 of their 10-month break.
They're so good at doing nothing. There should be a special award just for that.
Surprised he had time to tweet.
Well, the assembly speaker sure keeps to his own cream puff schedule, like last year when he skipped out on the special session to go to Brazil, as we were.
He
paid for that. Paid for that.
It's hard to say, but he did leave the state when there was a special session of the legislature called. That's for sure. Yeah.
It's priorities. And those aren't the popcorn king's priorities.
Well, and he spent more than any other state legislator on travel last cycle too.
Dan Shafer joins us every Friday at this time from the recombobulation area. You should subscribe. Thank you so much, Dan.